Good morning, good afternoon, and evening, guys. Welcome to the stream and to another day in Azeroth. Thank you all for being here. Dan, Dustin, Dragonsbane, Monica, Mendy, Bree, Amy, Towan, John, Rex, Ra, welcome everybody. Alright, we have mail from the auction house. Probably, so we either sold some stuff or we sold nothing. We sold everything we put up. Which is good, it means I put it all up for realistic prices, and that there was actually a market for it. Now that being said, I didn't sell anything for a lot. As you can see, 15 silver was probably the most we sold a single item for. But you know, it's a decent start, and I'm trying to build good habits of putting stuff up on the auction house. So yeah. Let's empty the old inventory. Wolf meat can go. Spider ichor I don't think we need. Light hides I should probably keep a hold of. The haunch of meat can go. The milk I don't need. I probably need to do some leatherworking because it looks like we have a lot of light leather. So let's do some profession stuff first to get us going, and that'll open up the inventory a little bit. What are we gonna make? Let's go ahead and convert all of our leather scraps first. And we'll go with that, we'll start there. Karen, good evening to you, and welcome to the stream. What are we gonna make? We'll probably keep making the embossed leather gloves until they stop giving skill ups, basically. This is the lowest mats per possible skill up, so we need coarse thread. A pile of coarse thread. We could probably do more. Could probably do more than that. 22. Okay, I doubt we'll be able to make all 22 before it goes green, but let's go ahead and we'll start with the 22. And we will see how that goes. Ashley, good afternoon, good evening to you. Demok, welcome to the stream, buddy. Ra, I'll give you the one go Eagles. That's right. That's fine. You're a fan, but just don't say it again. Yeah, I'm obviously a Chiefs fan. Now that being said, I mean the Chiefs have won a lot of Super Bowls, and so I wouldn't be like super upset if they lost one because you know, whatever. But I'm still rooting for the Chiefs today. So yeah, yeah. Yep. But I am kind of getting like Chiefs fatigue, where it gets emotionally fatiguing to have to watch them in playoff games and in Super Bowls year after year after year. It's like, you know, I try not to let myself get too like emotionally invested or worked up about sports ball games. But the playoff games and obviously the Super Bowl is like high stress, high emotion. And I'm starting to get like playoff and Chiefs fatigue. I need them to become a mediocre team that gets knocked out in like the first round of playoffs, so I can relax for the rest of the season, you know. That is gonna perfectly fill up our inventory. So let's sell all that and see what else we can do. I'm gonna sell the Staff of Orgrimmar, I'm not gonna use it. What I have is better for the build we're doing. And that's basically it. We're down to 2 pieces of leather. We have some scraps left over. Let's sell the gloves. The spider legs can go. Oh, that's a pattern. I can learn that pattern. That'll get that out of the inventory. I'm not sure when I'm gonna need like things like light hide or how much light hide I need to keep and how much I can sell. I don't think we... Do we have anything that takes light hide? Oh, cured light hide. Okay. So I have to cure this with salt.
How you doing, man?
This is an aspect of leatherworking I haven't really gotten, like, into. Let me just cure all the ones that I have. And so I can see, like, what I have to make stuff and what I need. There we go. Lael, good morning, man. Welcome to the stream. You're just rooting for Saquon? Yeah, Saquon's gonna run. He's gonna run over the Chiefs' defense. I'm so worried. He's just gonna just run right through the Chiefs' defense. It's gonna be embarrassing. We'll still find it. We'll still find a way to win, but it's gonna be an embarrassment for our defense. It's gonna be tough. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. We're gonna go south. We're gonna go for zebra hooves. We're gonna go after raptor heads. Do I want to do that first, or do I want to go do this one? Let's go hunt the zebra first. That'll give me some peaceful time to drink my coffee and wake up a little bit more before we take ourselves over to the Razormane area. We also have a Harpy quest that we're going to do today up to the north. I want to do Wailing Caverns at some point. I just don't know when would be a good time. I'm going to be healing it, so I think maybe I want to be level 18 or 19 to heal it. I don't even know what level the gear is. You'd think I would remember. And the gear is level 18, 19, 21. Ooh, okay, so maybe that's a little bit... Maybe I need to be a little bit higher level than I think. Some of the gear's level 21. Maybe doing it so young is not a good idea. Especially if I want to heal it. I don't want to get anybody killed. Buffs would be good. Ooh, I have a rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer. We are gonna, for the next 2 hours, we are gonna absolutely crush. So yeah, we should focus on questing and fighting stuff. Because we're gonna be awesome for the next little while. And then after this runs out, we're gonna feel like a weak, pathetic noodle. You know? Sphinx juice, I appreciate that. I do take it as a compliment because I myself am someone who has trouble getting to sleep and like staying asleep. So if my content can help people get to sleep, like that's what it's there for. That's awesome. I hesitate to give anybody thorns, like especially on hardcore. I don't really like to give people thorns because if you're trying to run away from an enemy to survive, and you have thorns up and you forget you have thorns up and you don't click it off, like you're continuously damaging the enemy and then the enemy is going to stick on you longer. And so I don't like giving random people thorns. Especially when they're like a caster or somebody that doesn't really want to be getting hit. 3 more levels until we get Starfire. Awesome. We'll definitely get it today. Especially since we're almost level 18. I don't... Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever used Classic Era Starfire. Like, I've played druids in later versions of the game. I had a healing druid for a little while in Wrath of the Lich King that I played before switching over to my Holy Pally, so I've leveled druids in, like, other eras. But no, in Classic, this will be the first time I've clicked that spell. I've had druids at this level before, but I've always been feral. So I've never had a reason to even, like, check out the spells. Do I have 10 characters going at once right now? No. I have a warlock, I have a warrior, and those are the only characters that are, like, that are going. The recorded series characters are the characters that, like, are going to continue for sure. And then on the streams, I'm just playing whatever I'm having fun with. But I haven't created a new character in a while. The last new character we created was the Warlock, and the Warlock's, like, level 30 something. And keep in mind, like, I have a handful of characters that I play, but I play WoW for 4 or 5 hours a day. And, like, obviously most people are not blessed enough to have that much time to play the game. But I am. So I play for 4 or 5 hours a day on most days. And so, you know, I probably play more characters than most people, but I'm also playing, like, 5 times as much WoW as most people can. So, but no, the only characters that I'm playing right now are the Warlock and the Warrior. And then on the streams, we played a little bit of the Mage last week on the stream, the hardcore Mage that died. And now we're playing this character. So, like, I have no plans to start any new characters anytime soon. On the streams, we'll just be picking up existing characters, like dusting characters off. If a character dies in hardcore, maybe we continue the journey. I'm really having fun on this character. And I wouldn't mind if eventually we find a character to settle into on the stream, so, like, we just play consistently that character. And maybe it'll be this character. I was having fun on the Mage, but I've kind of been thinking ahead a little bit to TBC. And in TBC, I'm going to be Horde side. So, as much fun as I was having on the Mage, like, I would kind of, if I'm going to settle into something on the streams, I'd rather settle into something Horde side, so that can help me out, like, in the future. And I can just have meta progress. Even if it's not a character that I'm going to main in TBC, at least it'll be gold, it'll be, like, meta progress for the account, it'll be a crafter, like someone with professions. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the only recorded stuff I'm gonna do right now is the Warlock and the Warrior. You know, unless the Warlock dies, and then I'll fire up another hardcore character. I'm hoping the Warlock stays alive, because the Warlock is gonna be either my main or my alt when we go through the Dark Portal. So I'm hoping it can be that Warlock, and I'm hoping that Warlock can just at least live long enough. Like, even if it lives into, like, the 50s, and then I can just transfer it to Dream Scythe, and I can finish it on Dream Scythe from, like, 50 to 60. But I would like it to be the hardcore playthrough for a while. That way I don't have to have another hardcore playthrough going. We need one more Zebra Hoof, and I would really like to finish up the Raptor Heads. That's what I would like to do. Yeah, with the camera distance, I don't have, like, a set distance, but I do like to keep it closer. A lot of people don't like it. I think a lot of, like, WoW players get bothered by how close I have the camera, especially when I'm playing hardcore and things are, like, more dangerous. But yeah, it's funny with the Tauren, with the Tauren I can zoom. This is max zoom. This is max zoom out on a Tauren. So on a Tauren I can zoom out more than I normally would. But yeah, this is, like, my comfort zone. I like to give you guys different views of the character and stuff. Which has also annoyed a few people. I had one person leave a comment and they told me to stop moving the camera around. Nobody cares what my animations look like. And I thought, I care. Aren't I somebody? So yeah, like I think some people like it and some people get annoyed by it. And the reason I do this, the reason I pan the camera around and show you guys different angles and stuff, is because, you know, I played the game for 15 years. And for 15 years, I played the game like completely zoomed out like this. I never moved the camera around. I never looked at the casting animations. I never looked at the mobs, and I never looked at the enemy animations. Like, for so long I played the game, and I was like, I realized when I came back to Classic and started making content that I was missing out on like so much of the game by just being so far away and never actually seeing what was going on. And so that's why I always like, I give you guys different running angles and stuff like that, because like I realized through my own experience that a lot of people never get to see the game that way. Buffalo Bill, 32 months, man. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your 32 months. That's a ton of time. That's like, you know, years. It's just years, no big deal. It is a big deal, and I appreciate it. It's why no one ever noticed the female orc wanding animation before. Yes, exactly. Yeah, like no one looks at the game like that, and so yeah, I'm sure there have been people, there must have been people in the history of WoW who have played an orc warlock female. There have to be a couple, right? And so that's fine, but the game's been out forever and no one has ever, the animation hasn't gotten fixed. Because not enough people have played that character and like actually looked at it to the point where they've noticed. They just do their thing from this angle right here and like whatever, no big deal. When you're looking at it like this, it became really annoying really fast. It was like immersion breaking, game breaking level of annoyance as soon as you noticed it. And it still hasn't been fixed. It probably will never be fixed. For some reason. And so like when we move to TBC, one of the first things I'm going to do is make a female orc warlock, get it to level 5, get it a wand, and I'm going to see if by TBC, if they fix the animation by TBC. There has to be an era of the game when the female orc wand animation got fixed. But it wasn't in Classic era. You had a 60 female lock warlock. Did you do a lot of wanding? Never noticed the wand animation was busted, did you? Or did you and you just lived with it? I can't imagine living with it. I can't imagine seeing how broken the wand animation is and living with it for 200 hours or more. You know, because you do a lot of wanding on a warlock. At least with the build that I do, you do a lot of wanding. Oh man, I need to find... Oh, you know what? Well, we can go way south for raptors. If I want to guarantee find raptors, I can head all the way to the south. I don't know if I really need to go that far. Maybe we should go over to this oasis and plant the dried seeds. I think that'll give us a follow-up quest to go kill turtles. You want to see the animation? Look at the first episode of my recent Warlock Hardcore series. In the first episode of the Warlock Hardcore series, I start as an orc. I play as an orc to like level 6. We get the wand and I start wanding, and then I quickly re-roll as an undead. And like a lot of times when that would happen, I often would not include the part where I like quit the character, right? But I felt like for that experience, the reason I had to quit the character was so absurd that I left it in the video. So yeah, half the video is me starting the Orc Warlock, and then half the video is me starting the Forsaken Warlock that I end up sticking with. If you want to go check out the animation, just go a little bit into episode 1. Probably within like 40 minutes, we have the wand, and we're checking out the broken animation. These guys here, these guys are level 16. Should be okay. She does the Michael Jackson moonwalk. Yeah, basically. Except she does it both ways. She slides forward and slides back and slides forward, and it's not a little slide. It's like a full yard and a half. She slides forward like an in-game yard and a half. It's not like it's like a small movement. It's a huge movement. Very broken. I feel like Blizzard should fix it, you know. I wish someone like could get a clip in front of them and just show them like, hey, guys, we gotta talk about the Warlock wanding animation. I'm sure they could just fix it, you know. Alright, that's done. What do we want to do now? We really just need to find raptors and zebra. That's like the main thing we have to do. Did I ever play an undead? I'm currently playing an undead. Yeah, the main hardcore series I have going on the recorded side of things is Forsaken. Yep, we're like level 30 something Forsaken Warlock. I don't play a lot of undead because I don't like seeing my bones sticking out and seeing my spine sticking out, but for the Warlock it works. It's a nice aesthetic for a Warlock. Robert, good afternoon to you, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. A troll warlock. Yeah, a troll warlock would be cool, actually. Does it fit the lore? Yeah, it kind of can, I guess. Like, trolls... I think trolls, like, more, like, summon and invoke the Loa than they do demons, but I think a troll warlock would be a cool aesthetic. They probably have troll warlocks in retail. Because I feel like most of the base classes have been opened up for every race. Well, obviously someone has just run this route, and they've killed everything. Oh, we hit level 18. At some point. Let's put the point in natural weapons. We have one more point to spend there before we get into Omen of Clarity. We can start checking that out. That's another spell that I've never played with. And then level 18 stuff. Fairy Fire. Yeah, we want Fairy Fire. Regrowth 2, we want... Yeah, okay. So we don't have to train right this minute. But training soon will be a good idea. And then at 20, we get Starfire. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, we are done. We've got the zebra hooves, we've got all of the raptor heads. Let's go back and turn these in. And then I think we'll go after the crossroads supplies and the next round of Razormane guys. Probably have to get a group for Kreenig. But usually there's people standing in that area. Waiting. Try to group up with some of them.
Peace, friend. We shall meet.
Greetings, traveler.
We found 2 wands, a shadow wand, a fire wand. Sell the apples. Barnacle clam I can open.
Greetings.
Yeah. That's it. The elixir I can sell.
Leatrix. Looked hard. Go with honor.
For the Horde. Go with honor.
I'm gonna go a little bit further to the area where Koenig's at. I don't know if we can get all the guys in that area. Let's. Ooh, you're a caster. Okay, Geomancers have fireballs. Noted. Fireballs are bad. I don't want to fight a caster and a hunter at the same time. That seems like it could go poorly, even though they're lower level. Elder Mystic Razor Snout. Okay. He's kind of right in the way of where Koenig would spawn. The problem is he's a level 15 elite. Surprisingly, there are not any other players around right now, which is very abnormal for this little area. I need to pull this guy somewhere where the hunter is not going to add. Can I take a level 15 elite with the Rallying Cry of Dragon Slayer and with a couple of hots? Maybe I pop into bear form for some added protection. Let's clear our escape route, and then maybe we can give it a pull. Give it a pull, see if we can even do any damage to him, and go from there. Do a little entangling roots to keep some distance on him for a minute here. Oh, he dropped a healing ward. Oh, I don't want him to be doing any of that. Alright. I don't know if this is gonna work. But we are gonna find out. We have some potions. We want to get rid of that, like, immediately. And the healing ward. He's got a healing wave? Oh no. Oh no, you didn't just healing wave. Alright, we got him on the ropes. Nice, nice, nice. Very good. He dropped some cloth gloves, stamina, and intellect. Which we can most certainly sell. Yeah, that felt pretty good. I mean, obviously we could do it because of the buff, right? It would have been a much harder fight. Maybe not even possible without the buff. But yeah, with the buff it was pretty simple. There he is. There's Kreenig. Yeah, for some reason there's nobody here today. The last time I did this, it was packed full of players, and I was in like a 5-person group. And we still waited like 10 minutes for him to respawn. So yeah, that was quite different. I need to get in here and get the crossroads supplies. That's what I have to do. Alright, so we need 2 more defenders and we need 4 more geomancers. We found a sturdy quarterstaff of stamina. Not quite as good as the one we have, but possibly something we can sell. Dan, good afternoon, buddy. Yeah, we got the Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer buff. So it's like, you know, for another hour we're gonna be like a god. And then after that we're gonna feel pretty pathetic, I think. It's like a kiss and a curse, you know? It's really nice to have it until it runs out. I need to pull this guy back. Come with me. That was a nice resist. That's really not far enough. There we go. All right, we are done here. We can get out of here, which is probably going to be a good idea, seeing as how everything here is kind of respawning around us. A rare spawn in this area? We killed a rare elite like a couple minutes ago. Yeah, I forget his name. He was some kind of mystic. He was an elite mystic of some sort, and he dropped something. He dropped the Adept's gloves. So that, yeah, we took him out solo because we had the buff. Swilly, good evening to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So I think next we will go after Prowler Claws. I think we'll grab the Harpy quest and we'll go all the way back in this direction to kill Harpies. And we should be able to get the Prowlers along the way if I remember correctly. Do we think they'll offer the paid boost to 58 for TBC again? Absolutely. Yeah. They will. They will. It's like, you know, when they re-release Classic time and time again, it's like literally their only opportunity to make money is to sell you a boost and sell you a mount. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't.
Strength.
We'll see. I mean, they could do it differently, but I just feel like there's going to be somebody there, like, in those meetings, there's going to be somebody pushing for it, you know what I mean? And they're going to push forward in like a very reasonable, very subtle way. Like, hey guys, this is an opportunity to allow players the chance to catch up, even though, you know, maybe they didn't have enough time to play in Classic era and they really want to experience TBC. We should offer those players the opportunity to step through the dark portal. And like when you phrase things reasonably, it's hard for someone to stand up and say no in a meeting like that and to make a case for why they shouldn't do it. And that's why, like, so often things like that do make it into the game. Because it's like, when phrased correctly, it's hard to stand up in a corporate meeting and speak out against something that supposedly is going to be good for a player and supposedly is going to make money.
What do you need?
So, we'll see. Man, I feel like I should go back to Orgrimmar and, like, put some stuff on the auction house. My bag is, like, filling up. I'm going to try to hold off a little bit. But, yeah.
Go forth to victory.
Yeah, the weird mounts that weren't the correct fidelity for the game. They were like higher fidelity mounts. Very immersion breaking. Yeah, where's the Harpy? The Harpy quest is the angry guy at the top of the tower. Let's go talk to him. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't sell boost. I would rather they do. I'd rather they maybe they do like Joyous Journey. Maybe they offer a Joyous Journey during the pre-patch. That would allow players to like more quickly level up. You know, 50% isn't like 50% in my opinion isn't game breaking. But it could allow some people to either catch up existing characters or roll up a Blood Elf or Draenei. I would rather see a Joyous Journey than a boost. Because at least with the Joyous Journey, like, it keeps people playing the game. And the boost, they just swipe their card. And then they realize they have no idea how to play the class. And then they stop playing anyway. but they spent their money first, so. Do I think we're ever going to get a true Classic Plus? Not in the way that people want, no. If you want a true Classic Plus, then you should play Turtle WoW. Like, honestly. If you want the kind of Classic Plus that people often get excited about, people often talk about, like adding content, adding context, adding lore, adding races, adding story, adding zones and dungeons, if you want like that kind of Classic Plus experience, the people over at Turtle WoW have already made that. And I would say probably wait for the 2.0 Unreal release to come out. That's going to come out sometime this year. But yeah, we're not going to see anything like that from Blizz. Firstly, because like I just said, it's already been done. So there's no impetus for Blizzard to do it, because someone's already done it. So if Blizzard does it, if Blizzard does anything similar, people will either say, "Oh, they're copying Turtle WoW." If it's good, that's what they'll say. And if it's not good, they'll say, "Oh man, the people at Turtle WoW, they did it so much better." So really, there's no incentive for Blizzard to try to do a Classic Plus. It's a crap ton of work for like very little money. They probably wouldn't even be able to sell it to you. And then they run the risk of either being accused of copying what the people at Turtle WoW did, if it's good, or they'll be accused of not being able to make quality games if it's not as good. It's a no-win situation, you know what I mean? Somewhere there are bushes with prowlers. We need to find a kitty bush. Let's go look over this way. Preferably, maybe running through this event area was not a great idea. Phase 1 of SOD was pretty fun. Yes. Yeah, Phase 1 of SOD was pretty fun. Ooh, I don't want to go that way. We're not going that way. Phase 1 of SOD was fun, and if they had kept releasing the phases of SOD as they initially planned, I probably would have played SOD all the way through. The original plan was that during each phase, while the phase was current, there would be no experience buff. But they went back on that right away. We started Phase 2 with an XP buff, which we were not supposed to do. The current phase, they said, was not going to have an XP buff. They changed that right away, and what it did was it encouraged everyone to dungeon grind. We spent like 30 hours camped out in Scarlet Monastery in our bedroll, and that just about broke me. And then yeah, I got into a Nightmare Incursion, and that was the time I knew I was done. But yeah, Phase 1 started off good. I liked the waylaid supplies and how it kind of forced you back to the city every once in a while. How it propelled professions a little bit. And if they'd have kept the game paced the way Phase 1 was paced, then like for people who enjoy Classic Era, like it would have been a lot more enjoyable. Instead, what they made was a grind fest where people raid log, which is more like what people look for when they look at like retail. They made retail with a classic skin, and it appealed to a subset of people. There's no bots running around in Turtle WoW. That's a good point. Yeah, they keep their bot issues under control. That's nice. They're gonna charge to copy your character to Classic Era. Oh, you mean like if you want to keep the character in Classic Era and move it on to TBC? Yeah, you know what? I wish I had done that. When I think about like my Classic Era characters, like my Athos and my Night Elf Warrior, like I wish I had bought them like their Classic Era copies. Because I would have gone back to Classic Era to play those characters, but I will never touch those characters in Cataclysm. You know what I mean? And even by Wrath, like I had no interest. But if Athos had been sitting there in Classic Era, I'd have played him. You know, especially when I went back to Classic Era, when I decided like Classic Era was going to be like what I played the most of. I wish I had paid for the character copy. But yeah, so yeah, they'll probably do the same thing again. And this time, if they do, I will probably leave one of my characters in Era. I will pick one of them to copy. Just in case they do the whole progression again, you know what I mean? Just in case we end up like right back in Cataclysm on these anniversary servers. Like, I want to have a backup plan. And I'll pay the $15 or whatever it was for the character copy. Yeah, it's time for Athos 2.0. Athos 2.0 is gonna... he'll be a paladin, though. No, I have to start focusing my... I have to start focusing more efforts on my Horde side stuff. Because Horde side is what I'm gonna inevitably play in TBC. So we're gonna finish the warrior playthrough on Alliance side, but I think like my ultimate focus is probably gonna be Horde side. Because Blood Elves are the best race in the game, and there's really nothing better than Blood Elves. If they put in High Elves, then I would probably stay Alliance, you know? Maybe I'd stay Alliance if they put in High Elves. Alright, that's all of our Prowler Claws. Let's head further north. We're going after Harpies. Yeah, I think with Classic, we'll just keep... they're going to keep on the same paths that they're already on. So you're going to see Cataclysm become Mist, you're going to see Mist become Warlords, you're going to see Warlords become Legion. I think for Classic Era, we'll probably see something very similar to what we've seen, where we have fresh start servers now, they're going to go through TBC, maybe they go all the way to Wrath, and then in a couple years, they'll probably do another fresh start. And then besides that, they'll, maybe in a couple years we'll have another season. It takes them a long time to spin up seasons. We went like 2.5 years from Season of Mastery basically ending before we had Season of Discovery. So maybe 2 years from now we see another season, and then probably a year after that, maybe you'll see like another fresh start. I don't think you can, besides new seasons, I don't think you can expect a lot of development work to go into Classic Era. Classic Era for them is something that can make them lots of money, and it can keep the player base kind of like expanded without it costing money. But as soon as you start developing new content, well, then you're shelling out cash. And with no cash shop and now no WoW token, they don't have a way to, in their minds, recoup that money. So I just think you'll see Classic continuing to do like exactly what it's been doing, because that works. That works for them. Any Chuck Norris jokes? No, man, it's not 2004. I don't have any Chuck Norris jokes. I purged those from my brain when I purged every episode of Family Guy I'd ever watched. So, yeah. A lot of dead harpies here. Got a shaman here. We've got a hunter on our left. Is the Warlock alive and well? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the recorded series characters are going to stay in the recorded series. So the Warlock and the Warrior, like those are going to continue in the recorded series. And on the streams, we will play existing characters, unless I settle on something. Like maybe I'm settling on the Druid, kind of. I've been enjoying the Druid. I do like this this build that we're doing. I'd love to see more of it, so we might be sticking with the Druid on the streams. And then we'll have the Warlock, or whatever hardcore character's alive. Like right now, the Warlock's doing well. And they look like they could go all the way. But you never know. Even if the Warlock dies, I'm going to continue that recorded series, because I want to get the Warlock capped. Well, the Warlock is going to be either my main or my alt when we go through the Dark Portal, so... Even if you're enjoying the Warlock playthrough, even when the Warlock dies, that series is going to continue. There will also then be another hardcore character, but I'm dedicated at this point to getting the Warlock capped. That's how much I've been enjoying it. Like it's going to be my main or my alt. Now that being said, it might get race changed to a Blood Elf. If that becomes possible. If it becomes possible to race change to a Blood Elf, then the Warlock might get race changed. I'll have to think more about that if the possibility opens up. But either way, they're going to get to 60. My highest damage is my right click. Yes, this is like a partial auto attack build. This is a caster auto attack build, and what helps with that is we're going into natural weapons, which increases physical damage dealt in all of our forms. After this, we're going to get Omen of Clarity, which is going to be an interesting thing to play with around the melee attacks. The less buttons I have to push, the better. I love a good auto attack build. I like to use the class mechanics to like... in the spec mechanics to get through fights, not how fast or furiously I can pound buttons. It's one of the reasons why I don't play retail. It's like I don't really get more enjoyment because I'm pressing more buttons. That doesn't lead to engagement for me. What leads to engagement is having like a nice smooth rotation that makes sense, that is iconic to the class, that just feels good. And then within those mechanics, like the less buttons I have to slam and the more tactical I can be about my buttons, the better I feel. As opposed to retail where like every class just spams a million buttons, and that's really the only way that they create any kind of class engagement or combat engagement. Yeah, it is very similar to like a paladin. It's which is a class that's like one of my favorite classes. It's very similar if you think about it to the way I play priest. Whereas on a priest, I will mind blast, I will shadow word pain, I will bubble myself, and I will wand. And I will wand and wand until they're dead. So this is very similar to a priest for me. Like I blast them, I dot them up, I put a hot on myself, and then I just swing away. And then I wait for things to happen. If my Moonfire runs out, I will put Moonfire back up. If they start to run, I can spam them like that. If I need to, I can pop a heal. So I like being able to make choices with my abilities situationally and not have to pound all of them every fight. Welcome to the Elderly Club. Yeah, I mean, I did turn 41 this year. I don't feel elderly, but I think it's just that like what I get out of the game and how I engage with it is different because my mindset is different. And part of that is age, and part of it is experience. But part of it is also just like personal preference. We're gonna get Cat and we're gonna get Sprint, right? Around level 20. That's gonna be nice. I think the Druid's gonna be a lot of fun because it just offers so many different tools that I have to kind of wrap my head around. And I like being able to figure out like how to use things situationally. And like getting into a situation and being able to think like, okay, which of my abilities are gonna like save my life in this situation? And I think the Druid's going to be a lot of fun for that, because the Druid seems to offer like multiple ways to deal with situations, and that's something that I also like about the Warlock. Like in any situation, there's multiple things I can do to deal with it. Yeah, water form is going to be really, like, just really big quality of life. Being able to move faster in the water. Just a huge quality of life. I'm assuming it also comes with underwater breathing, because that would only make sense. The Druid gets to be more fun. You'll get multiple procs. Yeah, I like procs. I like stuff that like happens that I can react to. Yep, that's gonna be enjoyable. Nature's Grace. Where's that one at? Nature's Grace or Nature's Grasp? Nature's Reach. Everything is Nature's something. Nature's Reach. Nature's Grace. All spell criticals grace you with a blessing of nature, reducing the cast time of your next spell. Lots of stuff to get faster spells, to get instant spells. Hey, I'm curious to see like how I'm gonna work that in to my rotation. Like where is that stuff gonna fit in? That's what I'm interested to find out. We found some Aboriginal Gloves of Healing. +7 to healing spells. We can sell that. Maybe that's worth it to hang on to and to actually equip when we're healing. I don't know. I wonder like how that works with heal over times. I doubt it gives 7 additional healing to every tick. If it gave 7 additional healing to every tick of my hots, that seems like it might be overpowered. I wonder if it adds 7 to the total of the heal and then that gets spread out throughout all the ticks. That would probably be more balanced, so that's probably how it works. Alright, we've got a spot of trouble here. Yeah, that roots did not want to go off. I think I need to get a regrowth going. I need to kill one of them pretty quickly here. There we go. Do I want to drop a potion? I don't think so. I think we're okay. Regrowth is still ticking. We're fine. There we go. Carnifexia, good evening to you. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I figured that. The higher level you become, the less viable pure melee will become. Yeah, I kind of like thought about that. Just similar to the priest, you know, there comes a point when the wand isn't really doing the damage that it used to do. Similar to the warlock, there comes a point when the wand is not helping you that much. So I kind of expected that to be the case. We'll just kind of play it by ear and like try to grow into it and change as it changes and see how we feel about it. The cool thing is, I mean, if I get to level 45 and I hate the caster build, then we can go cat. You know, we can go bear. We have other options that are drastically different. Alright, that's actually 8 out of 8. And I think we can just hearth back. We'll turn these in, and then we'll see what we want to do next. While we're hearth back and safe at the inn, I am going to step away for 1 minute. I will be right back. Alright, that's the Ekiyaki quest. This guy's gonna have a follow-up. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it right now. We have stuff back in Silverpine that we gotta do. So we might have to head back that way. Well, maybe we'll do a stop in Orgrimmar, put some stuff up on the auction house.
Valhalla, farewell. Victory.
Alright, yeah, everything here is yellow now. So I think at this point we'll head back to Silverpine. I sound like a guild leader of yours? Interesting. It's not me, I promise.
Blood and thunder.
Okay, Orgrimmar, we have a bunch of greens. And yeah, we have a bunch of linen. I really need to let my first aid run. Maybe I'll just put the linen in the bank for now. Watching first aid go is like pretty boring. Maybe I'll just let that go like off stream. I'll just like let it run for an hour. Because it's gonna take a minute. So we'll bank all that, we'll clear up some space. Put all this stuff on the auction house. You know, it would have been really smart before I hearthed, I could have teleported to Moonglade and I could have trained level 18. That would have been, you know, kind of smart. We're really missing out on the regrowth and the fairy fire. I don't know, like, how impactful that's gonna be. Hibernate. Force the target to sleep, works on Beast and Dragonkin. That could be situationally helpful. I guess at this point we'll just wait till level 20. And we'll just train everything all at once. Alright, let's see. What can we sell today? This sells for 11 silver. That's not bad. It only vendors for 1. I'm gonna put this one up for 10. That way we're sure to sell it. Frosty Wolf, thanks for being here, man. I'm glad you're digging the content. 5 silver for the wand. It hit vendors for 4. Okay, I'll do it. I will put it up for basically vendor price. Just so maybe somebody grabs it for some reason. Fire wand, same thing. The fire wand, yeah, okay, 4 silver. Gloves of healing go for 15 silver. That seems worth it. We'll do 1450. One gold for the Adept gloves. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm gonna do 92 silvers. And the stamina staff, that's nice. 64 silver. Okay, let's put it up for 60. That says 96. And the offhand, 42, not bad. Let's put it up for 40. And I think that's everything. So we'll shove the cloth into the bank and then we'll vendor everything else. Did the lock die? Absolutely not. Nope, I don't play the recorded characters that are going on the stream. So the Warlock and the Warrior, you're only ever going to see those in recorded content. The streams are for characters that I've abandoned. They're for characters that, you know, I'm dusting off. Like right now we're playing the Druid because I'm really interested in the build that we're doing. So we might be focusing on the Druid on the streams, at least for a little while going forward, just to see how we like it. Alright, that looks good. I almost just want to stash the leather in here too. Just come back to it. So I'm going to do that. Okay.
Be safe.
Looking for something special? Go in peace.
Alright, out to the Zeppelin we go. I think we're basically done here. Skinning, yeah, do we want to grab the next rank of skinning while we're here? I feel like we're at that threshold, right? I think it's a 125 to learn the next rank. Maybe we should just go do that real fast so we don't cap out. It would suck to be capped out for no reason. David V, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by.
What can I help you with? Go forth.
Hawks, there's like a million ways to play WoW, man. Yeah, there's about a million ways to... You can, of course, the classic era servers that you were on are still there. If you were playing on a permanently era server, those servers still exist. Right now, we're on a fresh start realm, so back in November, they opened up some fresh classic servers, and they called those the anniversary realms, and that's what we're playing on right now. And the difference with the anniversary realms, the biggest difference is that eventually the anniversary realms are going to become TBC. Like in the winter, next winter. A couple other differences on the anniversary classic era realms. You have like a dungeon finder, not an automated finder, but just to help you see who's interested in doing that content. You're still forming groups manually, traveling to the dungeon, etc. So yeah, you got Classic Era, Classic Anniversary Era, you got Season of Discovery Classic. This is a Hardcore Anniversary realm, so you've got your Hardcore realms. You've got, you still got Cataclysm Classic is still going on. That's going to become Mist of Pandaria in the spring and summer. Yeah, there's a ton of ways to play Classic. What does TBC mean? TBC stands for the Burning Crusade, which is the name of the first expansion. The Burning Crusade expansion added Outland and the Blood Elves and Draenei races to the game. And the increased level cap to 70. But yeah, you get a lot for your subscription. There's a ton of different ways to play Classic right now. Basically, if you like WoW, you will find a way and a place to enjoy the game. Lots of players, lots of activity. Good times. Which Classic servers are the most populated? Not SOD. Right now, the Anniversary realms. Right now, the Fresh Start Anniversary realms that they opened up back in November, the ones we're playing on. Right now, those are going to be the most active Classic Era realms. So whether it's, you know, whether you're playing non-hardcore or hardcore, that's where everyone's playing right now. You know, it's WoW, so it might not always be that way, but I think these are going to be the busy realms into the future just because there's progression here. They're still releasing the raids. You know, we're going to be moving to TBC eventually, which the regular era servers are never going to do. So yeah, right now this is where the action's at. Yeah, there's tons of players right now in the Anniversary realms. Yep. Sometimes there's too many players depending on what time of the day you're playing and who you're talking to. Sometimes if you're playing during prime time, there can be so many people that it's sometimes challenging to get quests done. I play a lot in the morning and in the early afternoon, so it doesn't affect me as much, but even I see it. Even playing during the early morning and afternoon, it's still very, very active. What spec am I following? I'm not following any kind of like preordained spec or guide or anything like that. I don't typically do that. We're doing a melee caster build. So I'm going down the balance tree right now, and I'm just kind of taking the things that make sense to me to focus on some spell casting, but also some melee attacking. So we're doing kind of like a hybrid build. But I'm not following a specific build or guide or anything like that intentionally. Yeah, I try to buff everybody on this character because it doesn't take as much of my mana as putting like an intellect on somebody or a fortitude. I feel like intellect and fortitude, it takes like chunks of your mana. So it's hard to stand there and buff a bunch of people, but with Mark of the Wild, it's easy to buff a bunch of people. So I've been trying to get better at supporting other players with my buff. I think we have a quest to turn in here in Undercity. I think Recipe for Death is something that we're supposed to... Yeah, it goes back to the Apothecarium. We have a couple of quests to turn in Undercity. One of them was probably the Ragefire quest. Why am I playing Horde and not Alliance? Because ultimately, when TBC comes out, I'm going to be on the Horde side. Because I love Blood Elves too much, I guess. So I play both factions, but ultimately, like, we're going to have Horde content because I'm going to play Horde in TBC. But I'm actually playing both factions. I have my big warrior playthrough going on the Alliance side. Okay, Apothecarium, south of us. The mid-level questing on the Horde side has felt better than the Alliance side also. That's been good. Traveling around on the Horde side is easier. It's easier to get around, less travel time. And then access to dungeons. The Horde side simply has better access to dungeons. Closer flight points, easier travel. Unfortunately, in Classic Era, they have no pretty races. So sometimes it's tough, but eventually we'll get Blood Elves and the world will be right again.
Speak quickly. Beware.
We should try to find some help doing the elite village. There's going to be one other quest. Pyrewood Village. Yeah, well, that's what we'll do. We'll grab border crossing, but we'll also be looking for somebody to help us. I've done it with 2 players before. I feel like 3 people is probably the ideal number. But I also feel like we're pretty high level for it, so... Have I formed a guild yet? No, I'm not gonna have a guild right now. I have too many failed guilds. I have a main guild back in Cataclysm that, you know, they raid and they do all kinds of stuff, but I don't even play Cataclysm anymore. So I think for me, like, when I want to start raiding in TBC, which is the plan, I think I'm gonna find a guild to raid with that has like an established raid team, and that way I don't have to raid lead. I'm not a guild leader. I'm not a raid leader. I'm just a guy who likes playing the game. And if I'm playing the game and I'm making content for the game and I'm leading a guild, that's like too many hats. And I think like the only person that makes a good guild leader is the person that wants to be a guild leader. The only good raid leader is the person that wants to be a raid leader. And like, I have never wanted either of those things. I'm happiest when I'm just like in a raid, either healing or DPSing, and I'm just following along, doing my job. That's when I'm happiest. If I have to tell people what to do or explain to people what they did wrong, like, I start to get unhappy. That's what I found about myself. So I'm gonna avoid starting any more guilds. I'll just find a guild that needs a decent warlock. Or druid healer, you know, depending on where we land.
What now? Beware.
You can't stand the druid so far, you turned it into a bank alt. The humorous thing is I had turned this character into my hardcore bank alt for a while. Yeah, it took trying this different build, like I was exposed to this idea for this different caster build, and it took me giving that build a chance for me to start to enjoy it. And hanging out with you guys and playing it here, like, it just makes it more enjoyable in general than playing it by myself, so that's like the big difference. Is like sometimes things that I don't enjoy solo in a vacuum, I enjoy more on stream when we're hanging out. You know, just because like I'm focused on other things, I'm not just focused on how the class feels or anything like that. So that's the other thing to consider, is like, I guess you know, I feel good right now. If I were playing this by myself in a vacuum, I don't know if I'd like it. It's hard to say. Alright, let's find the other Pyrewood Village quest. And we'll try to do that. Baron's Peril, not what I'm looking for. Maybe there's a... Maybe I have to do a prereq. The prereq would probably be the level 14 quest that I have down here, I guess. I guess this would be the prereq. Let's run down here and get this one done. And maybe that'll give us the quest to get the shackles. I think it's like shackles that we're after from Pyrewood Village. We are 3 minutes away from losing our Dragon Slayer buff. I'm kind of worried about how that's going to feel. Although we should be fighting low-level guys in this area, so maybe it won't be too jarring. And when we get back, I have to remember to set our Hearthstone. We don't need it in the crossroads right now.
What would you ask of death? Watch your back. Embrace the shadow.
I'm listening. Trust no one. Dark Lady, watch over you.
This had better be good. Our time will come.
Alright, that didn't open up the elite quest either. So what am I missing here? Maybe it's Head of Grimson? Huh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right place. Deathstalkers. No, it's just not available yet. Very strange. Okay, in that case, let's go after the Head of Grimson. Since that's a green quest. It's gonna take us over here. Then we'll go to the Decrepit Fairy and we'll do that one. Because, yeah, I'm not sure what else I missed. We found a Disciple's Vest of Frozen Wrath. Cloth with +6 frost spell damage. I'll point out that, like, I don't have aggro on either of these guys. And I wonder how they dropped aggro onto me. It's very annoying. This is like one of the rudest things you can do in this game, especially in hardcore, is to drop aggro onto somebody else. Which I guess they accomplished it with this buff. Yeah, like giving me fortitude got these guys on my aggro chain. I don't like that sort of behavior. Whether it's, and if it's not intentional, then it's like ignorant, and that makes it even worse. Not a fan of that. Yeah, if those mobs were both at my level, I would have been in danger. Exactly. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a good look if we weren't at like a much higher level, and could have easily gotten somebody killed. Could have easily gotten somebody killed who wasn't me at the level that we're at. Karen, have a good rest of your night. And thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. And there we go. There's Grimson's head. Let's get out of here before the entire place respawns, if it hasn't already. And now let's head over to the Decrepit Ferry. In TBC, melee attacks in Moonkin restore mana. Oh, that is really cool. I like that a lot. Moonkin also increases attack power. They really leaned into that hybrid build, and like I never knew that was kind of how they designed that spec. Because they obviously, even in the TBC, have so many things that lean into the melee side of it. Where like you're probably not supposed to melee the whole time, but it does seem like it's designed to like just nuke from a distance and just melee them once they're close. And that's actually a really cool design. I dare say though they would probably have more druid players if they didn't necessarily have a Moonkin form. Like maybe the Moonkin form is just different. I mean, I guess that's why eventually they put Star form in. But I think that must be by Wrath of the Lich King they got Starform in there, and Starform's a decent alternative. Engraved ring. Yeah, they didn't continue that design philosophy after TBC. It could have been that people didn't like it. I mean, it could have been like me, people didn't understand it. Because it's not really like, you have to make a little bit of a leap and really read into a lot of the talents to understand it. And I think maybe a lot of people just didn't get it. And like by Wrath, they kind of start to do away with that hybridization. Like by Wrath, even the wand damage by Wrath of the Lich King, like you can't really do a wand build the same way you could in Classic or in TBC. If you're like a priest or a warlock or a mage, your wand even like is kind of useless. They started to kind of simplify things in a way, like by Wrath of the Lich King. Oh, the good news is we got the quest for the shackles. So let's see. I'm looking for more, and we're looking for Ariel's Folly, Recipe for Death. Control A, Control C. We'll put that in LFG and into General and see what we get. And yeah, that's true. Once you get into a raid, you probably don't want to be the Moonkin who's up front smacking stuff in the face. Maybe not. Maybe just not a good place to be, I guess. Although as a holy pally, I remember like swinging in melee with a certain seal to like get my mana back during raids. Like that was like one of the main ways I kept my mana going, was I would just like be auto attacking between heals, which I kind of enjoyed. It might be another one of those days where I can't find anybody to help us with this. What else can we do? We can go get the Dalaran pendants. That's kind of in the same area. And I can just keep spamming. And maybe eventually we find somebody. One of them whispered, "Invite me," which is, you know, rude. One of them whispered all question marks, which I don't really know how to interpret. But there we go. We got 2 other people in the group. I feel like that's probably enough. I'll keep spamming until we get there, but I think 3 people is probably good for this one. But if anybody else needs it, I'd be happy to have more people along. don't expect too many procs from Omen of Clarity. It's like a proc every 30 seconds. If I get one proc every combat, that would be okay. It's kind of like overpower on the warrior. Like you don't always get an overpower proc. All right, for whatever reason we lost one of them. I don't know why. I feel like we do need like at least one more person. I realized that runner just like took off and they're probably gonna get help. They definitely got help. Okay, you can die. Spirit gloves. How many do I? Somebody asked me how many I have. Like, does it matter? We only need like 3 people. He has his own group going. Okay. So I'm gonna drop group. I'm gonna let this guy invite both of us. I gave him the other person's name, so he should toss both of us an invite. There we go. Where are they at? Okay, they're already over in that area, so let's head that way. There we go, full group. It's a little bit of overkill for Pyrewood Village, but, you know, safety in numbers and all that. And speaking of talents, we should probably go ahead and spend our talent point. I'm glad they still got the Alliance in music rocking out in here. That's nice of them. We could probably do this event quest in here. It's not really an escort. We kind of stand there and then waves come. We lost one member, but with 4 of us, we should be able to do this one still.
I haven't got all day.
All right, here we go. What axe is the warrior wearing? I think whatever it is has an enchant on it. Yeah, it's just barbaric battle axe of the bear, but he's got fiery weapon on it.
Speak quickly. Watch your back.
It's nice to get that one done. That's a big chunk of XP. fiery weapon's OP at this level. Yeah, it really is. Like any decent weapon enchant at this level is going to be really powerful. Kind of wish I had a fiery weapon myself. Am I still playing the war with it? No, I haven't had retail installed in months. It's been months. We've got some problems here, but we should be okay. Yeah, I don't have any plans to play retail. I'll play Mist of Pandaria when it comes out, but don't really plan to go back to retail. It's just it's an entirely different game. It's not enough of an actual like MMORPG. It's an online action game, and I just don't find it fun anymore. So instead of playing it and complaining about all the stuff I don't like about it, I decided just to not play it. We are just not getting a lot of bracer drops. It's kind of the one thing about this quest. It's nice to have more people, but the more people you have, the longer it takes to get all the drops. I think I have one item. We really gotta head back this way, I think. Next time we're back in town, I have to remember to pick up some more water. We are getting kind of low. And that is all the mana that I have. With Era, do I mean the old servers? When I talk about Era, I could be referring to these servers. Anything in Classic Era, which currently even the Anniversary realms are in Classic Era. You know, there's obviously a distinction between the old Era realms and the Anniversary realms, but if I say Classic Era or Vanilla Era, I'm probably talking about even what we're doing right now. Wow, 2 out of 6. I mean, how many guys have we killed? I feel like we've killed like dozens. Maybe they're getting items. 6 out of 6, 4 out of 6. So they're getting some of their items. Maybe when they get all of their items, maybe I'll start getting drops. Yeah, they don't like dropping. And the bad thing is, like, we're not really getting a lot of kill XP. That's the bad part. Is this a dungeon? It's Pyrewood Village, so it's an elite village nestled in the southern part of Silverpine. So almost like an open-air dungeon area without bosses. Just trying to get a couple of quests done. The rogue came back. The rogue's been gone for a long time. I'm not sure where they went. But they came back. And now the warrior left. Goodbye, warrior. It was nice to have a tank while you were with us. You got all of your items. I guess he got sick of waiting for us to get our items. You know, he had all of his items for a while. Like, to his credit, he hung out for a bit, and then, like, we just didn't get any items. So, can I blame him? Yeah, I can kind of blame him for not finishing with us, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. At least we have the rogue back, so we still have 3, we just don't have a really, like, solid tank now. Which I guess is okay. I guess now I'm the tank and the healer. I don't know how that's gonna go. I think maybe I should let the Voidwalker do its thing. Even let the rogue tank him might be better. My streams make you want to play with the default UI? You should play with the default UI in Classic. In Classic, there's nothing wrong with the default UI, and it actually looks good and fits the aesthetic of the game. I've never used, like, UI changing mods. I just don't like them. Even the ones that are nice, like, they still clash with everything else. Just kind of bust my immersion. And my son brought me a donut. It's never a bad time for a donut, even when your group is about to die. Don't run. Please be in line of sight. Okay, there we go. It's never a bad time for a donut. After almost getting killed, the rogue says, "Thank you for the heals. I didn't see you were a druid." Oh, so you almost got yourself killed without knowing that you had a healer in the group. That's not good. That shows an alarming lack of self-preservation. Yeah, we'd be an okay tank if we were in bear form, but I haven't swapped out yet. I probably could swap out and help out with the aggro. It might not be a bad idea. There we go. But I can't be the healer and the tank. That's the problem. So like if we need combat heals like during combat, like this might not work so well. But obviously if we don't need combat heals, then we're fine. Also the problem is like if I'm wasting mana swapping back and forth in my forms, I might not have mana when we need like a pivotal heal. So maybe I'll only go bear form if like crap hits the fan. Then again, if crap hits the fan, I kind of don't want to have aggro on everything. It's kind of in my self-interest to not tank too much. It's kind of in my self-interest to let aggro kind of float around and just kind of like keep people alive if I can. Yeah, like this situation right here, like I don't really want aggro on either of these guys until someone else has it, like, because this could be a bad situation. Without a tank here, without the warrior, that kind of changes the whole dynamic of what we're doing. Like basically right now I'm heal tanking anyway. I have so much aggro for my heals that I'm basically heal tanking this. Definitely I want to get my items and get out of here as soon as I can. I'm running out of good feelings. So I'm getting kind of worried. Unfortunately, I only have 3 of my items. 4 of my items, okay. We have a little bit of water left. I'm also kind of running out of water. That's the other bad thing. Okay, 5 out of 6. 5 out of 6 is good. This warlock is taking too much damage, man. He's gotta be a little bit more careful, because I almost didn't see that he was getting low. I'd hate to lose somebody on my watch, but if he gets himself killed, I don't know what I can do. He dropped me a mana potion, which I appreciate. I do typically like raid frames for my group. I will probably turn raid frames on next time we do a dungeon. I like having the raid frames on and having the class colors. It's also a little bit easier to click it, a little bit easier to see what's going on. Maybe he life taps too much. Yeah, he does, but during that fight he kept getting hit. Like he was getting smacked around a bit there. Alright, we got our last item. Let's stick it out for these guys to get their items. I think, who needs what? Only the rogue. The rogue needs a few more. We'll stay and help him, even though he disappeared for part of this. He, like, kind of disappeared for a while, then he came back. We'll stick around and help him out. We won't be like the warrior who just got everything they needed and then left. Yeah, my buffs are out too, huh? Which means their buffs are probably out. No, they still got buffs. Am I watching the Super Bowl today? Yes. Absolutely. I watch as many NFL games as I can, but I will definitely be watching the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Well, he's got 5 out of 6. He needs one more, and then we can get out of here. There we go. He's got 6 out of 6. Let us escape. Yeah, I mean, if you're in Germany, the game starts, what, at like midnight? Midnight local time, somewhere around then? 11:30, yeah. That's a late game. Mm-hmm. The game starting at 6:30 is kind of perfect for me. It happens like after dinner time. It's kind of a later game, but it's not super late. Like the games that start at 8:30, even those are hard because the game's still on like at 11:30 at night. And as an old person, I like to be in bed by 11:30 at night. Not necessarily asleep, but definitely on my way. So it's kind of the perfect time for me. While we're down here, let's go get our dollar on pendants. I don't know if I want to do the level 21 quest yet, seeing as how we're level 19, but we can at least get the pendants. Yeah, it's especially hard when there's work and school the next day. Yeah, absolutely. It's not always enjoyable to watch when you know you're like screwing up your next morning to stay up and watch. Kind of detracts from it a little bit. What's the sign behind me? The sign behind me says, home is where the hearth is. It has a little Hearthstone icon. So it says home is where the hearth is. My wife got me that for my birthday, which was back in January. She also got me the little this, you can't see it, but this up here says rambles. It's not quite close enough in my background to make out, but it's a really cool little sign that my wife had made for me. You can't pull with a damage over time, buddy. It's not going to tick soon enough to tag the mob for you. It's cute. Yeah, it is cute. She's pretty awesome. She's always doing thoughtful things for me. Yeah, Moonfire does make it really easy to tag stuff. It's almost like, it's like tagging, it's like a cheat code for tagging stuff, basically. The insect swarm talent in the resto tree, yeah, I saw that. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like a second damage over time. Enemy is swarmed by insects, decreasing their chance to hit and causing damage. That would be really good for the build we're doing. Yeah, that would actually be decent. There's not a lot of useful stuff on the way to it, but... Yeah, having Moonfire and Insect Swarm would be nice. Like, what would I take to get there? You know, you'd probably go improve Mark of the Wild. Nature's Focus could be okay. Yeah, you'd probably go Mark of the Wild, Nature's Focus, and then Insect Swarm. That'd be cool to play with. Maybe when we have a ton of points we can try it out. In TBC it's moved to the balance tree. Well, that does make more sense. But it's sometimes interesting when they put out of the way talents like in different trees. And it kind of makes you think, like, what kind of build would I do? What would I give up to get into that tree to get that ability? Yeah, that's a good point, because in Moonkin form you can only cast balance spells, and I'm assuming that Insect Swarm would be classified as a resto spell or something like that. Yeah, it'd probably pop you out. Yeah, I wonder if it would pop you out of Moonkin. The only problem with that is that it costs quite a bit of mana to shapeshift. Is the only problem I could see with that. It will pop you out. Yeah, see, that could be a problem. Let's pull this caster back a little bit. She pulled some ads with her, so I am going to do the smart thing, and I am going to keep running. I think we pulled a couple ads. I wouldn't mind keeping the protector and dropping the mage, which it looks like we were able to do. In Turtle WoW, they also moved it to the balance tree. That's cool. I'm excited to play Turtle WoW again once they release their Unreal Engine 5 client. I'm hoping that comes like at a midpoint in the year. They said 2025. I'm hoping that doesn't mean like December 2025, but it might, you know. Because I am looking forward to trying that again. Hopefully when they're on Unreal Engine 5, there's like just less jank. A lot of it was like some of the jankiness. It was kind of immersion breaking. Some of the problems. Like, I want to be able to swim normally. I want to be able to fire spells into a house through an open doorway without it being line of sight for some reason. There's just a couple of things that were a little bit too janky. And I really don't want to have to... You have to install all these fixes, and like to install the fixes you have to turn off your Windows firewall and some other like kind of weird stuff that was intimidating. I'd like to not have to do all that stuff again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. Well, we are out of inventory space. That's a bummer. We'll eat some food, drink some milk. That'll open up a couple slots. We need 4 more items. The drop rate's just not very good. I'm hoping we can find these items before I run out of water. Twin-bladed axe of the eagle, stamina and intellect. That's a nice paladin weapon. Maybe even like a shaman weapon for a two-hander. Yeah, the high elf area was really well done. It seemed like it had more challenge. It was like a harder area than the other starting areas, I feel. But that could have just been a familiarity thing. I really enjoyed that though. Like, it was so nice to like see new content in Classic Era. So the only reason I didn't continue the series was just kind of some of the jankiness and not really knowing the future of the project at the time. I'll be more comfortable once they're on the new client. And I feel like once they're on the new client, and that's like enough of a new game almost to like avoid some copyright issues. Like, I think when they go to the new client, I'll play that version of the game on the main channel. I don't think I'm gonna have any problems like doing recordings on the main channel with the new client. I didn't have any problems putting recorded stuff up on the other channel. Like, nothing ever got flagged. Blizzard doesn't care about people like streaming it or recording it. You know, if Blizzard's gonna care about anything, they're gonna care about them having the servers open just in general. So I think I might be able to play it on the main channel when they get onto their new client. Yeah, they're not allowed to do tweaks to Classic Era because what one person thinks is a small tweak, somebody else is going to think is like a big deal. Remember the time they tried to let druids use polearms? Do you guys remember that? For like 5 minutes in Classic Era, druids could use polearms and people like revolted. It was like madness on the forums, and then they quickly reverted it. That's what happens when they try to tweak Classic Era too much. people lose their minds. I feel like in the anniversary realm, that should give them more leeway to play around with stuff because they've already added stuff like the group finder, they've added stuff like dual spec. But you know, making changes and making tweaks, that takes a team of developers and it takes people like looking at feedback and actively working on the game, which we know that they're not doing, so. Yep. Are we allowed to use the auction house? Yeah, this is just regular hardcore. We're not doing a self-found or solo self-found. This is just a hardcore run on the anniversary hardcore servers. But yes, we are most definitely able to use the auction house. To me, using the auction house and interacting with the economy is such a big part of the game that I really dislike self-found. Like, self-found is not for me. It just removes stuff from the game. Removing things from the game doesn't necessarily make it more interesting. It could make it more challenging, but it's not more interesting. Have I ever tried the Iron Man challenge and stuff in Classic? No, like the stuff where you only equip white gear or you only equip the gray gear. I've never done anything like that. I've done a couple of challenge runs in the past where I was only able to equip gear that I made myself for slots that we were able to craft. So I've done a couple of challenge runs with some different rules. We did the craft your own gear. We turned all the nameplates off. We had like nameplates turned off so you couldn't see where the enemies were at and stuff like that, but... Yeah, when TBC comes out, I think I am going to start a hardcore TBC character. Obviously, there's not going to be official like server support for hardcore TBC, but I think we'll do a hardcore run in TBC with the add-on. I think it's a big miss that they are not going to move the hardcore realms to TBC. I kind of keep hoping that they'll like change that by the time it comes out, but I don't think they're going to. But I really do think there's a big portion of people that would love to try TBC hardcore. And so we're going to do a run with the add-on when TBC's out. We are done here. That's everything. Let's take ourselves back to town. John, good afternoon, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. New gaming chair. I need a new chair. I've had the same $80 chair for the last 6 years. It's still in pretty good shape. One day I'll get something a little bit more comfortable.
Forsaken. Farewell. Embrace the shadow. Speak quickly. Victory for Sylvanas. Trust no one. Our time will come. What is it? Victory for Sylvanas.
Maybe we can go out to the Fenris Island. And maybe we can do this level 17 and 18 quest. The Engraved Ring has to go back to Undercity, and then we have to run out to Brill to talk to somebody in Brill. But yeah, maybe we can get this one done. I'm not really sure what level the enemies are. You know what I need to do? If I'm being really smart, I need to set my Hearthstone. I gotta set the Hearthstone, and I have to snag some water, because we're basically... I got things to do. I can't just rush out of town. One does not simply rush out of town. Gotta empty the inventory. So the lock died? Completely wrong. No, the lock didn't die.
I'm listening. Farewell. Be quick about your business.
I wish I could do like commands. So like any time anybody typed the word warlock, it would pop up with like, you know, why we're doing what we're doing, so I didn't have to repeat it 100 times. You're not going to see any recorded characters on the streams. So the recorded characters that are going on are going to live in the recorded series. That's the Warlock and the Warrior. And then on the streams, I think we're going to be playing this character on the streams for the immediate future. And that's it. Yep. Warlock, Warrior, Druid. That's really all we have going on right now. I'm leveling the bank alt. Yeah. It happens. We're gonna need a new bank alt. What was that? Touch of Ravenclaw. That's like a weird stun. I don't think I've ever seen them use that. Your bank alt's level 60 now? Yeah, see, it happens. Yep, sometimes you think you have a bank alt, and it turns out to be a character that you actually want to play. The worst is when that happens and the name is like bank alt, you know? At least I didn't name the character Rambles Bank. At least the character has a real name, you know? Could be worse. We could be running around leveling up Rambles Bank. Be embarrassing. The original main became a bank alt, yeah. Can see how that could happen. Alright, let's see what this feels like. I'm not convinced that we need to be on this island right now. I'm not convinced that, like, with the level of enemies, this is like a super smart idea, but we'll see. Well, we got the talking head right away. Spirit reduced by 4. That kind of sucks. It's gonna eat directly into our mana regen. How long am I going to play today? I'm not sure. I do have some things I have to do before the Super Bowl. I have to get a workout in and do some other things, and then we have company coming over at some point, so I really don't know. Who do I think is going to win the game? The Chiefs, obviously. Yeah, I think the Chiefs will win again. Of course, they're my favorite team, so I'm a little bit biased, you know. What can I say? You're not sure you've seen a druid played without using a form? Yeah, this is like a caster melee hybrid build. And so like when you play a caster, you don't get the caster form until level 40 anyway. You gotta get down to Moonkin form to have like your proper caster form, but we're definitely trying a build for the druid that I've never tried before, and I really like it. It's been a lot of fun. A Wailing Caverns? A Wailing Caverns is gonna have to wait till next weekend. I'm gonna try to do a Friday stream next weekend, so we can do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, I want to be. I think I want to be level 20 before I try to heal Wailing Caverns. I also might want to pick up a little bit more intellect gear, swap out a couple pieces of strength gear that we're wearing for intellect gear. I don't want anybody to die on my watch, you know. I don't want someone to die because I went too quickly, basically. This probably wasn't a smart pull. Yeah, definitely not like a super smart pull. That's Entangling Roots, one of them. I need to get a heal going on myself, probably a couple of heals. Okay. No, that was okay. You think it'll hurt football if they win again? I can't hurt football. It can't like hurt football. I get like a lot of people have Chiefs fatigue. I get it. I have a little bit of Chiefs fatigue too. They're my favorite team, but I kind of get sick of the stress of watching them year after year go to the Super Bowl. I'd be fine if they got eliminated earlier and like other people can go to the Super Bowl, but you know, it is what it is. Somehow they've managed to win most of their games by a very small margin, and you know, it'll be fine. They're not always going to win the Super Bowl. Eventually they won't, you know. That probably won't be this year, but eventually they won't. And like a lot of, like obviously like skill plays a part, but a lot of winning games comes down to a little bit of RNG. It comes down to a little bit of RNG. Some of the games they've won because of luck. Not that they didn't play well. They played well, and then they were going to lose, and then they win because of a little bit of luck. And that's like just the big RNG element of football. Like skill takes you so far, and then luck can take you the rest of the way. Of course, he hung out there just long enough to pull this guy. He instead of moving forward like I wanted him to, he just hung out there just long enough to pull the ad. What a jerk. Medicine Staff of Frozen Wrath. How is it a medicine staff? You'd think it'd be a medicine staff of healing. Plus 10 frost damage is no joke, though. We'll definitely be able to sell that to a frost mage. Maybe get like 30 or 40 silver on the auction house. You're gonna get mad soon? Don't do that. I mean, you can do that, but do it somewhere else, please. Am I not using the racial spell? Are you talking about War Stomp? I've used War Stomp several times. Just on this island, I've used War Stomp several times. Now you're mad? Well, I don't really need any more information than that. It's about all the info I need. Have I gotten any blues or purples on the anniversary realms? I've gotten some blues. Humorously, I've gotten all druid leather. I have a piece of druid leather on the warrior. I have a piece of druid leather on the warlock. I think I have one on the warlock. I should check what the warlock has. I think the warlock has helmets, and the warrior has a chest piece. Both of which seem absolutely useless, except maybe to a druid. And those are the only... I've gotten like 2 blues, maybe 3 blues. No epics yet. I think the warrior is getting into the levels where I could get an epic. We're at least getting close to the levels where we could get an epic, but yeah, we've had a couple of blues and none of them have been really good. Nothing I can sell for lots and nothing that I could really use. I'm not sure why the guy was mad, Lael. He's never said anything before. I feel like I just you know how I am with kicking people. All it takes for me is to get a feeling, and I'll kick somebody on a feeling. I don't really have any qualms. If the first thing you say in my chat is all caps, I'm getting mad, then that's probably an okay sign that I can kick you and that like we're not losing anything. The community is not going to lose anything if I kick that person. I think Twitch does this, but I wish I could lock caps lock behind a membership. I feel like if you want to come in and yell at me, like, you should have to pay me first. That's how I feel. I feel like if you want to come in and yell at me, you should have to pay me first. I wish I could lock caps lock behind a paywall. I feel like that'd be a fair way to handle it. I'd probably get yelled at less, which would suit me just fine. It's a crazy first chat. Yeah, people just want attention, but in that case, he got attention, but maybe not exactly what he wanted. Is skinning and leatherworking good? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually doing skinning and leatherworking on this character. It is really good, yeah. Yanko, good evening to you, buddy. Welcome to the stream. What would I recommend for someone trying Hardcore Classic for the first time? Like, just in general, like general practices, or like what class you should play, or what professions? I mean, my advice is always the same, basically, no matter what. Like, play a class that you love. Find a class that you enjoy pushing the buttons on, and play that class. When you're playing hardcore, you just gotta kind of take your time. You should take your time in Classic in general, but especially in hardcore, just take your time, and give yourself time to analyze the situation, you know, plan your pulls out a little bit more carefully. Always have a backup plan in your head for, like, what am I gonna do if stuff goes sideways? Try to have potions. Try to have potions on you if you can. And if you're playing hardcore, like, be ready to die. Be ready to lose characters, especially if you're not, like, super experienced at hardcore. Like, you're gonna lose characters. It's just kind of a part of it. Set up a bank alt, and as you amass gold and items, send those gold and items over to your bank alt, so that when you do lose a character, you've made some kind of meta progress, and you can use that gold and items to help the next character get off the ground. And I would say after you lose your first character, you will know if hardcore is for you or not. Because losing characters, it's not for everybody. The great thing is, with these characters, you don't technically lose them. When they die, you can transfer them over to the non-hardcore realm, and you can keep playing them there. So if you fall in love with your hardcore character, yeah, you can't res them on hardcore, but you can just take them over to the regular server, and you can play them over there. So, like, you're never really losing anything. You never really lose any progress. It's entirely up to you, like whether or not you continue that character or not. All right, we have to hearth out of here. We've managed to get the Ichor quest done, which is great. Yeah, don't get attached. Don't get attached, or be ready to continue the character on the regular era realm if you do get attached.
What do you require?
You know, that's always an option. I've got a lot of stuff to put on the auction house. A ton of things. Soulbound.
Victory for Sylvanas.
I'm not really sure why the aliens are trying to abduct us right now. Not really sure what's going on with that. Yeah, save your gold, to send your gold, send bags, any bags you get that you don't need, send those to your bank alt. Any greens that you get that you can't sell in the auction house, send that to your bank alt. Absolutely. I think some of this stuff goes back to Undercity. Alteric's head to his grave, that's back in the keep area. We're not going to do that right now. Let's shoot back over to Undercity. It's the Lunar Festival light. I've never seen it like come down upon me as if it were trying to beam me into the mothership. That's the weird part. You get an orb and you can place it wherever you want. Interesting. That's cool. I don't really see what the point of it is, but it's neat. John, that was the fastest chair assembly ever, man. That was the fast. It must have been one of those where like you just put the back part together and then you sit it on top of the thing. I can't build chairs that fast. Unless it's a Lego, I'm bad at following directions. I find that Lego directions are really the only directions I can follow, like, without a problem. Unfortunately, I can't get a comfortable chair made out of Legos, so it's always a struggle. It's always a struggle. When me and my wife were getting married originally, I explained to her that, like, she should never expect me to put things together. That I was not a handy person. I made it, like, very obvious. I thought it was, like, worthwhile to be honest. And just tell her, like, I don't put stuff together. I'm not handy. I can't assemble things unless it's Legos. And it's still true to this day. I'm probably going to grab all that out and do my first aid soon. Amy's in the chat, yeah. Sometimes she still has me put stuff together, but more and more she does do it by herself. Cause yeah, I just can't do it. I really struggle with it. 28. Did I ever train my level 18 abilities? I did not. No, I didn't. Next time my hearth is up, I'll have to go teleport Moonglade and get that done. Or I could teleport Moonblade, then I could just fly to Thunderbluff. Flying to Thunderbluff is an option. Shadow gems are not really selling for anything. I can basically vendor it for that much, but I will attempt to sell it for 10 copper more than the vendor price, which is not really ideal. But I'll do it because I'm trying to change. There's none of these on the auction house. 2 strength, 3 agility. It vendors for 3. Oh, it's soulbound. It's soulbound, guys. That's why there's none of them up on the auction house. Makes sense now. Speaking of, I need you to rehang the shower curtain. I can rehang a shower curtain. Barely. That's about the extent of my usefulness. That's only because I'm tall. Oops. Shield of the Monkey, 18 silver. Oh man, the Axe of the Eagle. I expected to get a little bit more from this. 14 silver. Okay, better than nothing, I suppose. That's also soulbound. Sword of Strength, 16. Let's put ours up for 15. There's no staffs like this on the auction house. I'm gonna take a chance here. I'm gonna put this up for we'll do 80. We'll do 80 silver and see if like a really desperate frost mage will buy this off us. And that's everything. That's a clean inventory. What do we have to turn in? We have something in the mage quarter to turn in. Let's go get that done. Guitar Junkie, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. You are late. Yeah. In this case, you're late. I expect you'll do better next weekend. Yep, Chiefs are definitely going to win today. They're going to win. They don't need luck. They'll do it. And speaking of which, guys, speaking of the Super Bowl, I am out of time for today. I have some stuff I have to do before later. I gotta get a workout in. I gotta hang a shower curtain, apparently. And I have a couple other things I want to take care of. So I am gonna park it right here for today. We are gonna continue this character on the streams. I really am enjoying the Druid. It's very different, and I'm liking the build that we have going, so we'll continue this next weekend. And I'm gonna try to stream on Friday, so we can do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I will get that scheduled as soon as I know that I'm going to be able to pull it off. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Have a good rest of your afternoon or evening time. And as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.